This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Hate crime. Police investigate after a suspect allegedly shouted racial slurs at Costco customers in Halifax. Thrift pioneer, remembering Edwin Theriault, a man who sparked a Nova Scotia shopping revolution. And Circus Act will show you the unique way some fish for a local delicacy on the Gaspereau River.
Increasing clouds and a chance for showers rolling in for southern areas on Wednesday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. An incident caught on camera at a local Costco has sparked a police investigation and widespread condemnation from the community. A video circulating on social media shows a man shouting racist insults, uttering death threats at a Muslim family. And a warning, we show some of that video. The CBC's Josh Hoffman reports.
An incident inside this Costco has led to an investigation by Halifax police and condemnation by members of the local Muslim community. A video on social media shows a man inside the store being aggressive to women wearing hijabs, yelling racial insults, assaulting another customer, and uttering death threats.
We're killing every one of you.
To see a family enjoying their daily life as any other Haligonian, going grocery store and be called out because of wearing piece of cloth in her hair and in the middle of the people. And that's horrible and that's unacceptable.
Duali says he felt heartbroken when he first watched the video, but unfortunately it's becoming more common for Muslims to face harassment and sometimes violence.
It's not a one incident, it's a rising incident, and this is a pure Muslim hate.
According to data from Halifax Regional Police and RCMP, hate crimes have been on the rise in recent years. Halifax police say hate is believed to be a motivating factor in this incident at Costco and are asking for the public's help to identify the man.
Any incident that we determine or believe to be motivated by hate, we will obviously investigate to the fullest. Again, as I mentioned, we'll be bringing our hate crimes unit and have them bring their expertise to the investigation and then go from there.
The imam at the Ummah Mosque is focusing on the silver lining of this incident. He says he wants to thank people at Costco who stood up to the man.
Same time, we feel sorry for him. Like, you know, what pushed him to do that is completely misinformed. So I want to as well extend that invitation, come to our mosque, ask. Whatever you have any questions, we don't have barrier on what should you ask and what should you not ask. Come and ask whatever you want.
Omar says he welcomes anyone into his mosque because Nova Scotia welcomed him. And he knows most Nova Scotians don't feel the same way as the man at Costco. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Halifax.
We turn now to an unfolding tragedy in the Maritimes. 3 people from Prince Edward Island are dead after a collision near the Confederation Bridge this morning. It involved an ambulance. CBC's Taylor O'Brien reports.
2 paramedics and a patient from PEI have died in a 2-vehicle collision in New Brunswick near the Confederation Bridge. RCMP say it happened just after 9 a.m. this morning in the community of Melrose, about 12 kilometers southwest of the bridge near Port Elgin. Police say the collision is believed to have occurred when the driver of an ambulance was traveling westbound and collided head-on with a transport truck. Police say the driver of the ambulance was from Warren Grove. There were 2 other people on board, one from 9 Mile Creek, the other from Montague. RCMP say the driver of the transport truck was taken to hospital with what were believed to be serious but non-life-threatening injuries. This afternoon, Island EMS posted online that the collision involved 2 of their paramedics and a patient in their care. And in a statement said, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic motor vehicle collision involving one of our ambulances today." RCMP say both vehicles have been sent for a mechanical inspection and the cause of the collision is still under investigation. Taylor O'Brien, CBC News, Borden Carlton.
A 30-year-old man has died after his dirt bike collided with a dump truck in Morristown. RCMP say the crash in the 500 block of Prospect Road happened around 9 p.m. Monday night. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. The 29-year-old driver of the truck and a passenger were not injured. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Repairs on the Seal Island Bridge in Cape Breton have wrapped up for the season, but work is far from complete. The province plans to keep doing these repairs until 2030. The bridge connects Bullardry Island with the rest of the Trans-Canada Highway. Public Works Minister Fred Tilley says this year crews spent time enhancing the steel supports on the bridge and fortifying the concrete piers holding the bridge in place.
Our engineers are monitoring the bridge at all times. I want to reiterate that it's a safe bridge to cross. Everything is fine with the bridge, but we want to extend the life of that bridge so that we can look at replacement in the future.
Tilley says after 2030, the province will have to decide whether to spend millions doing major reconstruction on the bridge or spend even more replacing the bridge entirely. Two ships from the Royal Canadian Navy departed Halifax this morning as part of Canada's largest overseas mission called Operation Reassurance. The CBC's Brett Ruskin was there.
Another departure today from Halifax here with two ships leaving and about 90 families or so saying goodbye to loved ones who are deploying for 4 months' time overseas. The two ships that left were HMCS Moncton and HMCS Edmonton. They departed here in Halifax. Again, they're going to spend 4 months overseas as part of Operation Reassurance. Now, Operation Reassurance has been in place since 2014 in response to the aggression by Russia and the annexation of the Crimean Peninsula. Now, there's many NATO members involved in Operation Reassurance, not only on sea with the capabilities that we are seeing today, but also on land. Canada has a very large contingent, the largest persistent presence that we've seen of troops overseas since the Second World War. That is, again, the Canadian-led mission in Latvia. Also, NATO allies are in Estonia and Lithuania, in that entire Baltic region, each one of those three countries obviously sharing a border with Russia. So again, the ships that left today will be heading overseas to do mine countermeasure missions, as well as different operations there, and as well as being a presence there in that region, and a show of solidarity for Ukraine and other nations in the region. Again, so about 90 families or so saying goodbye to loved ones today here from the port, with HMCS Moncton and HMCS Edmonton leaving. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Halifax.
A German aerospace company has signed a 10-year deal to use a soon-to-be-built Nova Scotia commercial space launch pad. Maritime Launch Services says Germany's ESAR Aerospace will build a dedicated complex at its site near Canso for ESAR's launch vehicle, Spectrum. ESAR will begin construction this year with plans to launch space missions by 2028. The 10-year deal will see ESAR pay Maritime Launch $3.75 million US per fiscal quarter once the contract is fully underway. And here's Ryan with the first look at the forecast and just a lovely summer day.
Yeah, it really was beautiful. We had a little bit of cloud cover in the mix for southwestern areas of the province as a system approaches, and that kept cooler temps on tap there for you folks in the southwest, and maybe a couple of spits of showers right down towards southern Shelburne County today. But overall, beautiful, and across the north, really, really nice and warm as well. Temperatures for Wednesday are going to be a little bit cooler, no doubt about that. We're going to see an east to southeast flow setting up, so the Atlantic coastline will be in the high teens and low 20s. Will be more so into the mid-20s, low to mid-20s, I should say, across northern areas of the province, warmest up towards the Amherst area. And yes, Cape Breton should be doing okay as well, especially in through Inverness County. There is a chance for some showers as that system does track just to our south, especially along the Atlantic coastline, so we'll be timing that out. And also increasing through Wednesday night into Thursday will be the humidity. It's really going to be coming back in for Thursday into Friday. That will keep things unsettled, especially Friday with scattered showers. Looking pretty good for the weekend. We'll talk about that with your 7-day coming up.
All right, we will. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, an icon from Nova Scotia's French shore has died. Edwin Theriault, the founder of the ubiquitous chain of used clothing stores, passed away last week. And as the CBC's Andrew Sampson reports, his idea kicked off a local thrift store phenomenon.
Some of the best ideas often hide in plain sight. So obvious in retrospect that it's a wonder someone else didn't get there first. When Edwin Theriault opened the first Frenchies in 1971, it sparked a used clothing revolution. He died on June 28th at the age of 94.
I was born and raised in Boston, and I was the only French kid in the neighborhood, so they called me Frenchie.
After a career as an engineer and a stint owning a bar in Oregon, he moved back to his mother's hometown in Nova Scotia after he fell in love with a local gal. Soon after, he hit on the idea that sparked the first Frenchie store in Metegan.
Someone said that, I should try used clothing. So I bought a bale from Goodwill Industries, a charity in Boston, and put on the back of a pickup truck and hauled it up here and rolled it into a store, 1,000-pound bale, and cut the wires, and the neighbors literally attacked the bale when they seen it coming in. So
from there, the idea swept the province. Within a few years, thrift stores were no longer stigmatized sites of last resort, but potential gold mines, drawing in shoppers from all income brackets. They loved the store's cheap, flat-rate pricing and the many name brands that dotted its shelves.
It is Gap.
Dozens of imitators followed, including the similarly named but unaffiliated chain of stores named Guy's Frenchies, operated by a former employee of Theriault.
And they all kind of copied the process, and they're mostly all successful. And it's created an industry in the Maritimes.
The allure of the stores was even once described in an essay for The New Yorker, and a book published locally called The Frenchies Connection. But while Frenchies spawned many competitors, only 3 of the original stores remain. For Theriault, staying close to his roots was always more important than chasing after endless piles of money.
He was the best, you know? With him, it wasn't always about business. The most important thing to him was family and being there for us.
Back in 2009, he was asked what he'd like his epitaph to say when all was said and done. Quoting Frank Sinatra, his answer was simple: I did it my way. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, Gaspereau fishing season is mostly over for another year, but for those who don't know, the local delicacy is caught in a very unique way. There's no casting a rod or jigging from a dory. It's closer to a circus act. The CBC's Jane Sponigal explains.
This way of fishing hasn't changed for more than 2 centuries. And like fishing of any kind, there's the leap of faith. You'll catch anything. But here, it's all about the leap.
When the fish are running really well, you don't have time. You have to jump the net, you have to scoop, 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 and get the net back in and catch the next load. On days like today, they're a little slack, so you can kind of stand around and look.
The fish being caught here, on the Gaspereau, are Gaspereau, a bony fish in the herring family, heading upstream from the Bay of Fundy to Gaspereau Lake to spawn.
My grandfather always called them the Sunday fish because it takes all day Sunday to pick the bones out, and he wouldn't be wrong.
For decades, Gaspereau were salted and sent to Haiti, where they're popular and cheap. In Nova Scotia, they're still a local delicacy. But these days, Chris sells his catch for lobster bait for 70 to 90 cents a pound. In a good year, he and his dad could catch 250,000 pounds. To keep the fishery sustainable, no fishing is allowed on the weekends or Wednesdays.
It gives me a great deal of pride.
Chris is the 7th generation of Gertrudes to fish this way on this very spot. Chris says he learned through his own research that people who moved to the area from New England in the 1760s and 70s likely brought the jump net technique. It hasn't changed much since.
It's almost like a recharge. You know, a lot has changed in this small little valley in the last 25 years, and it's good for some, maybe not for all. And if I stand down here fishing, I can kind of just, nothing has changed. It's because this is the same as it always has been.
You'll be able to catch Chris here next season, ready to take the leap. Jane Sponigal, CBC News, Gaspereau.
And staying on the water, a Halifax area paddler won 3 gold medals at the 2026 ICF Junior and U23 Canoe Sprint World Championships last week on Lake Panook. Victoria Tran won gold in the C2 Junior 500, the C2 Junior 200, and the C4 500. She paddled at the back of the boat. The 17-year-old is a member of the Masqua Aquatic Club in Halifax. She tells CBC winning in front of a hometown crowd was an amazing experience. And there's a look at George's Island. Ryan is up next with the weather forecast. Stay with us. And Ryan's here with his full weather forecast. So after a nice day today, it sounds like things are changing a bit, a little cooler and some showers for some folks.
Yeah, it's going to be a cooler Wednesday across the board, but especially for the Atlantic coastline, that's where we'll have our best chance for seeing some showers. And yeah, the fog in the mix there a little bit overnight into tomorrow morning as well. Then we're going to get right back on the rails for Thursday. Pretty good chance for showers Friday, but the weekend is looking good. Let's get into it here. First and foremost, let's look at our webcam. This is Gaspereau, and you can see the fog certainly in the mix in the southwest of Nova Scotia this morning, taking some time to clear out. A few coming and going, but the fog monster kind of sticking around there for a good chunk of the morning. And this was the case along a good chunk of the South Shore today. Eventually, fog did back off, and that cloud, though, pretty stubborn in the southwest. And this is going to be a similar story for tomorrow. And you can see, yeah, clouds still a little on the stubborn side there through Gaspereau and the southwest. Thanks to Nova Scotia webcams for that. Just 14 there right now. Shelburne at 19, Halifax at 21, and you can see that temperatures in the northeast are certainly warmest, 24, 25, and then 27 to 28. Port Hawkesbury and Sydney. These have been our hotspots today. Ingonish hit 30 earlier, now down to 21. It's all about the sea breezes this time of year, as we know. Humidex values, yeah, not adding a whole lot to what it feels like out there. A few degrees in terms of what it feels like for those Humidex values, but overall, just getting started with that humidity that's going to build in the coming days. Not too windy out there today. It's been pretty pleasant. Looking at the weather systems map, there are the clouds, and yes, radar indicating a couple of drops down towards extreme southwest Shelburne County. Not 100% sure those have been making it right down to the ground based on the webcams, but yes, a better chance that we will see some of those showers, as you can see here, snaking in, moving off New England, and that will clip southern parts of the province for tomorrow. And then we're looking at our next front here that's going to be swinging in, bringing us a better chance for some showers and a rumble of thunder or two possible for Friday. Heat dome is going to be the big story here as we move into next week across the U.S. Southwest, and that will put a trough into eastern parts of North America, and a better chance next week that I think we're going to be seeing more frequent showers moving through. We do need some wet weather. Things have been pretty dry, so it'd be nice to top things up, but not looking like a washout next week, but it does look like maybe some more frequent shower chances. Shower chances moving into the southwest for tonight with light winds. Overnight lows generally in the 10 to 14 range, and those fog patches along the coastline. And as we work our way through the overnight into tomorrow morning, there are those showers. Yarmouth, Shelburne, Queens County are best chance overnight, and then up into Lunenburg County and Halifax County as we move our way throughout the day. The closer you are to the coastline, the cooler your temperatures, the cloudier your skies, the better chance you will see, excuse me, that chance for a shower. Northern areas tomorrow, the clouds probably a little more stubborn than the sun will be, but overall a sun-cloud mix, and certainly a sun-cloud mix for Cape Breton. Temperatures looking pretty good here, 18 to 22, closer to those southerly winds, but back into the mid-20s for many, 22, 24 degrees through Inverness County, 23 to 26 up through Colchester, Cumberland, and Pictou counties tomorrow. Note that onshore flow keeping temps cool with those shower chances closer to the Atlantic coastline through Halifax County and down the South Shore. The Valley will be a great day tomorrow, mid-20s. Again, clouds could be a bit stubborn at times. And then for Thursday, looking pretty good. We've got some scattered shower and thunderstorm chances building into New Brunswick, possibly into Amherst, Cumberland County for late afternoon into the evening. Otherwise, the mainland looking pretty good, and could see a shower pushing into Thursday evening for Cape Breton as well. For the most part, though, it's an overnight risk for Thursday into Friday. 26 to 30, this is where it's going to be starting to feel like 30 to 35 or 36 when you factor in the humidity on Thursday. That heat and humidity continues to build on Friday. Scattered shower and thunderstorm chances on Friday, especially into the afternoon and evening, thanks to that humidity, which is going to really be peaking on Friday, then crashing. We're back into the pretty pleasant summer sweet range for Saturday and Sunday. I did put isolated shower in the text there just because it does look like very isolated indeed. Hardly worth putting it on the icons, but we'll be keeping you posted on that over the next couple days, Amy.
Oh, we'll be watching. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Blue-green algae blooms are a common occurrence on lakes and ponds in the Maritimes this time of year. And to better understand the algae, a pilot project in Prince Edward Island is using a new tool to keep track of the growths. The CBC's Gwyneth Egan explains.
Little wiper to keep the lens on this clean.
PEI will have 3 new algae trackers in island waters this summer. It's a pilot project to better understand blue-green algae, also known as cyanobacteria.
Our primary goal with these trackers is to understand the frequency, so how often we see high levels of cyanobacteria and how long those blooming conditions last, but also a tool to help us manage and keep track of potentially high levels for public health.
Kanish says despite the name, blue-green algae isn't actually related to other kinds of algae. It's a bacteria, and it can create toxins that can be dangerous to humans and animals. The province says exposure can occur through contact with or swallowing contaminated water. Potential health effects are generally mild and include skin irritation, eye irritation, stomach upset, and, in rare cases, more serious illness. One of the new algae trackers is already in place in McClure's Dam. The other 2 will go in the water at Pointe de Roche Pond and Parsons Creek. Those locations all had blue-green algae blooms last summer, and it's also been detected this year at Parsons Creek and McClure's Dam. Kanish says there are some key indicators to look for.
If the waterway appears scummy, appears like pea soup, or it looks like maybe like green paint has been spilt in the water, that is a quick sign that there could potentially cyanobacteria blooming, and call the department immediately.
Kanish says some waterways might look like they have blue-green algae, but are actually growing other kinds of non-toxic organisms. Either way, he says if something looks off, it's best to call it in so his team can investigate. Gwyneth Egan, CBC News, Stanhope.
Coming up, Glooscap First Nation is partnering with a German shipbuilder in the hopes of growing the Canadian Navy's new fleet of submarines. Glooscap First Nation is celebrating after Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Monday a German shipbuilder is Canada's preferred choice to build the Navy's new fleet of submarines. That's because they've partnered with ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems to support the project. A deal has yet to be finalized. Elizabeth Tu has more on the possible economic impact for the community.
And with more on the announcement, I'm on the Glooscap First Nation with Sydney Peters, the chief of Glooscap. How exciting is this announcement for Glooscap?
Well, it's a historical day for Glooscap First Nation. This announcement, is, it's a humongous announcement, that's for sure, for Glooscap First Nation, but not only Glooscap First Nation, but for the Indigenous people across this country.
Glooscap is one of 3 Indigenous partners who have signed on to this deal. What does it mean to have 5% procurement by Indigenous First Nations? Does that mean 5% of the jobs will go to Glooscap?
Well, I think one of it is, as you know, is a partnership with 3 other communities, and this 5% will be, with the other communities inclusive as well. And it's all about procurement, as the federal government talked about, and it talks about actually being part of the actual contract and, sitting at the table and really participating. And, it's all about, to me, it's economic reconciliation. Finally, the federal government has put this 5% in as a procurement thing. And, with the other Indigenous partners, we're really excited to partner with them. It's from coast to coast to coast. And, as a small community here in Nova Scotia, we're excited, about this whole announcement with TKMS. Yeah.
How many jobs could this actually mean for Indigenous folks?
Well, that would be a technical question for me, right? But our technical people would, as the agreement starts to, unfold, as there's still more discussion that needs to take place. But as that comes out, we don't know exactly what that number will be, but I'm sure it will be, a lot. Glooscap First Nation, we're a small community, as we only got 400 and some community members, and there's only about 100 that reside on the reserve here. So we're looking for, all Indigenous people, whether it's across the country, if they have the expertise that's required within to do this work. That's what we'll be looking for, and we want to ensure that they're going to be part of that 5% employment opportunities.
And also involve other Mi'kmaq folks from across the province.
Oh yes. Like I said, we're one community out of 13 communities here in the province of Nova Scotia, and part of the 600 and some communities, First Nation communities across Canada. And within those, we're open for business and we're open for opportunities, and employment is so important, for our community members. They might have to leave their community, to find work. But if they have this certain expertise that's required to fulfill the positions, we'll be more than willing to hire them.
What types of jobs could this deal mean?
Well, I think during the construction, of course, there'll be labor jobs, there'll be carpenters' jobs, I'm sure. There'll be mechanical and electrical and heavy equipment, engineers. There'll be, opportunities for administration, of course. So I think there's going to be lots of work in the construction side, and then of course on the other side, which is dealing with more of the technical side in regards to the submarines themselves, how they operate, and it's going to be a long-term investment, and we're really looking forward to it and the employment that young people have, for the future.
How did Glooscap come to become one of the partners?
Well, I think one of the things years ago, when I became chief, it was always talked about, opportunities and opportunities for Glooscap, even though we're small, but we're open for business. And I think that having that mindset and being available and looking at the bigger picture creates an opportunity for others to say, okay, who is this particular community? And are they interested, in opportunities? And we've often said, we're always open for opportunities. Our CEO does an awesome job talking at various conferences and talks about Glooscap. and I think having, a good, clean record and a good representation and reputation, I think that's really, really important as a community.
A humongous deal, as you say. Thank you so much, Walal and Chief Peters.
All right, thank you. Great.
Coming up, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Turkey for a NATO summit that will test the unity of the alliance. And Prince Harry loses the final round of his fight with British tabloid The Daily Mail over privacy invasion claims. Welcome back. Donald Trump was musing about Greenland's future again at the NATO Leaders Summit in Turkey. Member nations were hoping to mollify the U.S. president by showcasing billions in new defense spending, including Canada's new submarine deal. The CBC's Evan Dyer is traveling with the Prime Minister and has the details.
Prime Minister Mark Carney began his trip to the NATO summit by meeting the leaders of the two countries that won the competition to sell Canada up to a dozen submarines, Germany and Norway.
Stealth characteristics of the 2112.
Then with the president of the country that lost, South Korea. Canadian officials said they now hope to get the first subs a couple of years earlier than expected, 4 of them by 2034. That would probably involve Germany and Norway agreeing to wait longer for their deliveries so Canada can get them sooner.
Clear indication that we are willing to defend ourselves in this part of the world.
It's Canada's biggest ever buy on defence, but it's not the only big announcement. NATO now says it intends to buy 10 Global Eye surveillance aircraft from Saab, made in Canada by Bombardier. It's all part of a massive rearmament underway in NATO countries.
Now, we see in Europe already a move to reintroduce conscription in a number of their militaries. And some have, the populations have enthusiastically embraced it.
It's all moving so fast that the goal of spending 2% of GDP on defence, which Canada just achieved this year, is already becoming out of date. The new target is 5%, which the Carney government says it will meet in 2034, a year ahead of NATO's target. That will entail tough choices.
The Canadian people know that the threat landscape has changed. The Canadian people understand that there are foreign interference activities going on. They understand that we need to make these investments.
A big concern here is preventing a rupture with the Trump administration that would accelerate the American turn away from NATO. But Trump already dashed those hopes, repeating his demand that the United States and not Denmark should control Greenland, a claim that threatens to tear the alliance apart. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ankara.
The BC government says it's going after the big tech company behind ChatGPT for the role it alleges the company played in the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting.
The province is preparing legal action to hold artificial intelligence company OpenAI and its decision makers accountable for their failure to notify law enforcement of the violent prompts made on its ChatGPT platform by their perpetrator prior to the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge. We've retained legal counsel in both BC and California to explore all avenues to hold OpenAI and its decision makers accountable.
On February 10th, a shooter killed her mother and half-brother, then went to the local secondary school and killed 5 students and an educator. The 18-year-old perpetrator later died of self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to police. In the aftermath of the shooting, authorities uncovered her ChatGPT history, which allegedly included plans for violence. OpenAI had banned the shooter's account in 2025 for the disturbing content, but never alerted law enforcement. Montreal is paying tribute to a police officer who died in the line of duty 2 weeks ago with a public memorial and police procession. Mohamed Lamine Ben Hedwan was shot during a gunfight in the Côte-de-Neige neighborhood. A bystander was also killed and another police officer wounded before the gunman was shot and killed. Ben Hedwan was 34, the first Montreal police officer in 24 years to be killed on the job. Prime Minister Mark Carney has named 4 new members of the Senate. He's also dropped the nonpartisan criteria for appointments to the upper chamber. Among the new senators is Carney's own principal secretary and longtime Liberal strategist, Tom Pitfield. He'll be Quebec's newest representative, along with Conservative MP Richard Martel. That appointment will trigger a future by-election in the riding of Chicoutimi-Lefjord. New Brunswick cancer researcher Dr. Rodney Wallet and Manitoba chartered accountant Geeta Tucker round out the list of Carney's first Senate appointments. Well, Prince Harry is calling a London court decision a complete and obvious whitewash after a judge ruled against him in a privacy case against a British tabloid. The ruling was announced during the Prince's visit to England, a trip that was already not going according to plan. Anna Cunningham reports.
Put very simply, the judge decided that there was not enough evidence to prove Prince Harry's case and that of his 6 co-claimants. They included Elton John and his husband, as well as the actress Liz Hurley. Now, they had all alleged that Associated Newspapers Limited, who published the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday, had allegedly used illegal methods such as phone hacking, invaded their privacy to gather stories to publish on them. Mr. Justice Nicklin, the judge in this case, said that the claimants failed to prove the allegations. Prince Harry's visit was not supposed to be about this court case. He is in fact here to launch a year from the day of the Invictus Games, due to take place next year in Birmingham in central England. But it's being overshadowed by the talk of this case and also a rather confusing message from Buckingham Palace. Over the weekend, the Prince's team had said that Prince Harry would be staying at Buckingham Palace, but by Monday, the Palace denied that and said he had left it too late to confirm. The Prince said he had confirmed, but that the offer had been withdrawn. All this centres on his concerns about security. Prince Harry was refused close police protection, which would have been British taxpayer funded.
You can't get much safer than a royal residence. It is guarded by police officers with firearms. It has all the technical measures that you need.
So for now, on a day that Prince Harry has lost this court case, he continues to talk about the Invictus Games, and there is little sign of that hoped-for reunion with his father, King Charles, and even possibly his brother, the Prince of Wales. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
The longtime leader of France's far-right party now has a chance of becoming the country's next president. Marine Le Pen had been banned from running for office for 5 years after being convicted of embezzlement. But a French court just shortened the ban, meaning the polarizing but highly popular Le Pen can run in presidential elections next spring. There is a potential problem, though, one that could be wrapped around her ankle. Briar Stewart has the details from Paris.
France's far-right figurehead Marine Le Pen was defiant in an interview she gave to a French television network this evening, giving her first reaction to the verdict that was upheld by the Court of Appeal. Now, Le Pen said she will be running for president next spring and that she couldn't envision a scenario where her name wouldn't be on the ballot. Back in 2025, Le Pen was convicted of embezzling funds from the European Parliament. So money was used to pay political staffers who were working for her National Rally Party. She has, throughout all of this, maintained her innocence. Now, the Court of Appeal today confirmed the guilty verdict, but crucially, the judges reduced the ban on her running for office, effectively allowing her to run for president next spring, but with one large caveat. She would have to wear an electronic monitoring bracelet. Now, previously, Le Pen said she would never campaign if she was wearing a bracelet, if she had to abide by restrictions that limited her ability to campaign freely, but she plans to challenge the decision today to France's highest court. Now, Le Pen is a very influential figure, very popular figure. Opinion polls show that she is currently leading, and she's been at the helm of the National Rally Party for 15 years. The party has anti-immigrant rhetoric, anti-immigrant policies, and she has really kind of painted herself and the party as being anti-establishment, and that really does fit into the narrative that she has been using as she's talking about this case, saying that she believes she is being unfairly targeted and she maintains her innocence, which is why she says her name will be on the ballot for the presidential election next spring. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Paris.
An incident on a busy highway in BC has renewed concerns about the use of driver-assisted vehicles in Canada. A woman behind the wheel of a car was slumped over with their eyes closed, apparently sound asleep while traveling at a high rate of speed. The person who recorded it on video says 2 children were in the back seat. Jessica Chung reports.
A video posted on social media shows a woman seemingly asleep at the wheel of a Tesla, keeping up with traffic on Highway 1 near Revelstoke on a busy Sunday.
Ignorance isn't an excuse. Just because your vehicle might come with some fancy whiz-bang self-driving technologies doesn't mean they're all legal. You still have to be in control. You can't let the robot drive your car for you.
RCMP say they're aware of the video and are actively investigating the incident. In BC, using fully automated vehicles is not allowed. What is allowed is driver-assisted technology, like automatic braking, lane assist, and adaptive cruise control. But the driver needs to be an active participant in the operation of the vehicle.
So the responsibility still is with the driver to ensure that they're looking at the road ahead, scanning for hazards, controlling the steering wheel, and to the extent that they can, control the braking of the vehicle. The vehicle is only supposed to step in to help out where the driver driver needs an additional hand.
Experts say driver-assisted features come with fail-safes baked into the vehicle to prevent motorists from falling asleep or getting distracted. But even with those safety measures, the technology comes with dangerous risks.
The data that we're seeing right now still points to a critical incident every about 4,000 to 5,000 miles here. So, about 8,000 kilometers, which might not sound like it's too bad because it's actually pretty good, but a human driver can easily go 300,000 miles without having an accident. So if you're not paying attention during that critical intervention that's needed and you cannot intervene, then you're screwed.
Police are reminding the public that drivers must be fully awake, alert, focused, and in control of their vehicles at all times on the road. Jessica Chung, CBC News, Vancouver.
An AI-generated actor has landed its first starring role in a feature film and could be coming to a theater near you soon. Tilly Norwood was unveiled last year by a studio called Particle 6, and it's become a hot-button issue in Hollywood. The CBC's Magda Gabrisalasa explains why.
3 seasons and a podcast.
The film is called Misaligned. It's been described as being an AI coming-of-age story, and it will star so-called AI actor Tilly Norwood. Now, Norwood was first introduced to the world last year by Particle 6 when the company's founder said talent agencies were showing interest. Now, Particle 6 is making this movie with its AI star. Apparently, along with all the AI-ness, there will be real directors, writers, and others that will be involved in the project. Eileen van der Velden is the CEO and founder of Particle 6 and said this in a statement. Our work this year has proven something we suspected all along. AI can support premium narrative filmmaking, but only with substantial amounts of human craft skill, judgment, and time. Now, there's been plenty of backlash. Actor Emily Blunt called it scary when this made headlines last year. Then and now you have actors' unions in the US and Canada blasting the existence of this as well. Marie Kelly's ACTRA's national director said this in a statement. There is no place in our industry and no use in the humanity of art for replacing performers with synthetics. ACTRA rejects any attempt to do so. Now, I spoke to a digital media professor here in Toronto about this. He said he understands the backlash and that now moviegoers have to ask themselves some questions.
And there's maybe a question. Do we value this? Do we value the human touch, the human story? Or really is this something that just can be formalized? And we're just happy to see whatever story is on. It's just pixels on screens. And I think people are going to make their own minds up about this.
So this isn't the first time that AI has made waves on the silver screen. There have been other films that made headlines for its use lately. A fully AI film made its debut at a major film festival. Dreams of Violets, a movie about the Iranian resistance, was made completely with AI tools. So no cameras, no sets, no real people on screen, and that film was shown at this year's Tribeca Festival in New York. Magda Gabrisalasa, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index finished in positive territory today, helped by gains in energy stocks, while U.S. markets lost ground. Here's a look at the numbers as we go to break. And we're back to wrap things up, and it's the very cool time of the show, picture time.
Yeah, picture time, and we're heading to Cape Breton for tonight. A beautiful one as always, but yeah, I always love when we get to visit Cape Breton. Have a look at this. We're going to zoom in on Inverness County, just north of Shedda Camp. This is Cap Rouge Campground, Cape Breton Highlands.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Trish McCormick with a beautiful sunset shot. Love that.
And just having a nice time camping, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Brian's picks at cbc.ca. Yeah, looking forward to more picks in the coming days. Have a look at the forecast temperatures for tomorrow. So we're cooler along the Atlantic coastline, 18 to 22. With the clouds a little more dominant, good chance for showers along that Atlantic coastline, especially in the southwest. And it looks like we'll see a brighter sky towards northern areas, calling it a sun-cloud mix, but wouldn't be surprised if the clouds do dominate more than the sun does, even for places like the Valley, Cobequid Bay, and across to the Northumberland shore. Solid sun-cloud mix for Cape Breton. Amherst likely our hot spot tomorrow, up towards 26, 27 degrees. We're all into the high 20s for Thursday, or at least most of us, away from those onshore winds, which will be in from the southwest, and we'll be moving in some muggy air. So 26 to 30, the call for Thursday, but feeling more like 30 to 35 when we factor in the humidity, and that will be no doubt peaking Thursday into Friday, where we're going to be seeing some scattered shower and thunderstorm chances on Friday. That humidity is then set to drop through Friday night, and it looks like a pretty pleasant weekend with that humidity more than tolerable. And you can see there are those showers that are going to be skirting the Atlantic coastline for tomorrow. Then as we move our way into Thursday, looking pretty good. Scattered shower chances really rolling in for Friday with that risk for thunderstorms in that unstable air mass. Looking pretty good for Saturday. I did put isolated shower chances in there, but it looks like less than 30%.
That looks good to me. All right. Well, some are calling last night's U.S. World Cup loss karma. These are images of USA fans seeing their World Cup dreams slip away there at a watch party in Kansas City. They were knocked out of the tournament after a 4-1 loss to Belgium.
That is despite having their star forward on the pitch. His red card suspension was controversially lifted by FIFA at the U.S. president's request.
Well, that is it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.